Hi everyone, I hope you're doing alright. So there's been a bit of an online drama recently that I kind of want to weigh in on and just give some thoughts on. And so basically there's been this YouTuber who has blown up in recent weeks, and you can probably tell from the name of the title. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to give them more credit than they deserve, to be honest. But basically, there's this woman in their early 30s who is kind of talking about like how she's pretty much in need. She's very lonely and stuff, and can't find anyone to date or get married with or whatever. And she's made some very emotional videos about that, and quite a lot of people have flocked to her channel and have been really simp maxing, to be honest. And she's recently put out a video that basically talked about how she's scared of most men, and everyone's quite outraged about it. And I can see why people are outraged about it, and I guess in a way I am too, but it's more complicated than just like her. It's not just her fault. So what is her fault is that, and she's not the only one by far who's done this, but sorry if there's a bit of background noise, but anyway, so like naivete gets taken advantage of basically by people, especially by women. Of course, people who try and sell you like the blue pill, red pill ideologies and stuff as well. But basically, she kind of comes across as like, oh, I'm a lonely knee, I'm just like you and stuff, and that kind of makes something click in the guy's head, right? And like I've listened to some of her videos, like background while gaming or whatever, and so like I do know quite well about her background and stuff, but I obviously use ad block and stuff, so I don't give ad revenue. I don't want to contribute to anything like that. But some people do. Like, she's had loads of donations from like Simps and stuff, and that's just basically selling them the lie that she's just like them. And this really did hit a nerve for me, because I think if you're at the point where you're listening to me rant about stuff, like, you've probably been through lots of disappointment in your life when it comes to just anything to do with like social, especially like dating and stuff. And there too was once a time when I used to kind of think that, and it is a kind of blue-pilled way of thinking, really, where it's like, oh, like almost like this idea you get from a romantic movie, right, where like, oh, there's this damsel in distress, and oh, we've both got our problems and we'll save each other, and like, because we're so relatable and stuff. Like, no, that's total nonsense. And I'm very lucky in a way. Like, I had some very traumatically cringe experiences that I kind of referred to in previous videos and stuff, so go back and listen to them if you haven't already. But I had these experiences in my teens where it was made very clear to me that I just do not lack the social competence, but by any margin, really, to be able to have a good go at dating like a normal person, and to be able to attract whatever women I want or whatever. And I kind of furthermore, I especially realised that like trying to relate to women like in the same way, and I don't mean like you can't like be nice to women, have nice times with women or anything, but like I guess specifically what I mean is like, so like this person who makes these videos, right, they're maybe like average to below average, kind of, not ugly or anything, but they're just like average to below average. And so let's say she's 5 out of 10, you're a 5 out of 10, and you're like, oh wait, and oh, she's a neat, I'm a neat, oh wow, we're a perfect match for each other, kind of thing. We're looks matched and status matched or whatever. No, it doesn't work like that. And actually, if you listen to some of her videos, she actually talks about how she actually let Chad have a go at her, right? So she let this guy who was just a friend, apparently, so a friend of benefits, right? So she was just part of his rotation, part of Chad's rotation. And yeah, he basically just had his way with her and no strings attached or anything. And that was it, you know? and so it's like, could you imagine if you were a 5 out of 10 guy who, like, you know, didn't have any, like, real social status or anything like that, and you're just like, oh man, I'm so lonely, I just want to, like, know what it's like to, you know, to feel a woman's body, to touch a woman or whatever. Like, oh, you can just call up one of your female friends that do that. Like, no, you can't. If you did that, you'd probably get, like, arrested for harassment, you know? It's not. And so, like, there is such a huge difference there's such a huge imbalance between women and men, especially when it comes to the dating market, right? Women have inherent value. Like, I've been thinking about this a lot. So, like, if you were, like, a woman, and, like, as long as you're above, like, literally a 1 out of 10, like, you will easily have options for who to date. And that won't be Chad. Like, any woman who's above a 2 out of 10 or whatever, like, they can still get Chad to sleep with, but then he'll just move on. But if you settle with an average to below average guy, you can have a relatively stable relationship, which is what most women fundamentally want. Or, you know, that's what most people would like, and it can make for a happy life and stuff. But no, the truth is, the person who made these videos, she's right. Most women see most men as dangerous. So if you remember that whole phenomenon where everyone was shocked for when women were being asked, oh, if you could, like, spawn in the middle of the woods with, like, some random guy or a bear, who would you choose? And they would say the bear, usually. Like, the bear principle. Like, that shocked a lot of people. It didn't shock me, because if you understand, if you actually apply, like, a little bit of basic biology to real life, you can kind of see that, no, like, that's just how it is. You know, like, women would sometimes actually rather die than have intercourse with someone that they're not attracted to. And then, of course, it comes to, well, how do, like, most men settle down and get in relationships and stuff? Well, it's because, mainly, I think it's because they social status max and they don't have the uncanny valley. Because the uncanny valley, like, that just makes women think you're going to assault them immediately, pretty much, like, because you're just acting really strange. So it just screws you over anyway. I've talked about that a lot before, right? But yeah, no, it really is, like, it's shocking, and it really is sad that lots of people just don't get this. I mean, you've got, like, all this OnlyFans and stuff. Like, how does that exist? I didn't get that. I do not get that at all. Like, I know I'm very naive and very stupid when it comes to most, like, you know, interpersonal interactions, but at least I'm not an OnlyFans simp, you know, at least I'm not a simp for some ego or whatever. Like, at least I can say that about myself, you know, that's something to be proud about. Because, yeah, I don't know what these guys are doing, man, honestly. I know it's tough out there, but I think you're better off just, like, you know, just use your hand, really, man. Like, what? I mean, I don't know what to say that's, like, you know, guideline friendly or whatever, but I think you know what I'm getting at here. Like what? Why do you do that, guys? But yeah, no, people need to realise that, like, especially if you're a woman, like, if you're between 18 and 40 and, like, you're above, like, a 2 out of 10, like, you're not, like, 600 pounds and, like, you know, you shower, like, once a month or something. Like, you don't have to worry about being able to get a date in the same way that a guy who's, like, below an 8 out of 10 or isn't neurotypical has to worry about getting a date. You just don't. And yeah, like, the thing is, like, women don't need social status. They don't need clout. They don't need, like, any popularity, like, because they have inherent dating value, right? As long as they're within, like, fertile ages, you know, to be totally scientific about it. But yeah, it's I just don't understand these people. And, like, there is a term for it, and of course simp is a term, but there's another funny one I heard which I just want to say because it was said by someone who died recently, a few years ago actually. He referred to the people who do this stuff as queef huffers, and I thought, yeah, that's pretty much just it, right? So yeah, just to sum up, men and women are not the same, and that doesn't make me, like, super conservative or whatever. That's just fact, you know. And yeah, for a while, like I said, I did think, oh, maybe it is, you know, oh, we just, you know, we're all the same, we're all on a level playing field. Like, no, we're not. And you also do have to understand from the female perspective that, like, the way they're attracted does not work the same as it does for men, right? For a man, like, if you get to touch a woman and bust a nut, like, that's one of the best feelings in the world. And as long as there's no strings attached, like, it's one of the most, like, dopaminergic things that you can do. And for women, that is true, like, if it's with someone they're very attracted to. But women are much more choosy because of gestational period and all the science that comes with that. So, again, I'm not here to give you a science lecture, I'm just referring to it because it is important and it is relevant, and, you know, go and study it yourself if you want more detail, or if you want me to make a specific video on the science behind it all, like, I can. But yeah, it only helps so much, you know, because people are very fine-tuned, you know, and it doesn't matter if you're a woman, you're a bit awkward, because you're not a threat to a guy in the same way that a guy is a threat to a woman. It doesn't matter if a woman doesn't have as many resources as a guy, as much status, right? They're just, by default, you know, they do have inherent value in the dating market, and men don't. And if a woman doesn't deem you to have value, then you're viewed as dangerous immediately. You know, it's like when women complain about men staring at them in the gym and stuff. Like, you know, when do men don't complain about that with women? You know, I remember one time there was this drunk, really old lady who kept on, like, trying to flirt with me and stuff, and that made me a bit uncomfortable. But, like, I didn't feel like, oh, she's gonna pin me down and, like, you know, do bad things to me or whatever. You know, I just felt a bit awkward. But, like, apart from extreme examples like that, basically any female attention is good attention. It is good for a man. And yeah, you can kind of try. I think sometimes men will try and pretend that, like, oh no, it's you know, it's not, no man, I'm very choosy. But no, let's be honest, right? Like, I remember there was this like meme online, right, about, like, oh, like, if you want to check if, like, your male friend is actually your friend, just text him asking if you want to hook up and see what they say, you know. And it's like, you know, I think at least, like, I'm honest about, like, biology and stuff and, like, how things work. And yeah, I think that's what really, like, annoys me about this whole situation, is that, like, people are pretending either way, you know. It's like the person who makes these videos, you know, she's pretending that, oh, you know, she's downtrodden and she's got nobody and stuff, even though, oh, she just, like, chose to get laid once, and you know, it didn't, and it wasn't even yeah, you know. So yeah, I think really it's just extremely yeah, there's lots of people lying in this situation, you know. And yeah, you just need to people just need to be realistic about it. And let me just see if there's anything else I was going to say. No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, everyone involved should be very ashamed. And yeah, I can't really think of what else to say, to be honest. I think yeah, just don't do that. Don't be that person who keeps propagating lies. And yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I've done a lot of stupid things, but at least I don't give money to random people online for attention or whatever, you know. So yeah, let me know if there's anything else I missed, but I think I pretty much summed everything up, even though we're only on 14 minutes. So yeah, thanks for listening, and talk to you soon. Bye.